My aunt cut me off mid-sentence at the family dinner and said, "Honey, we're talking about real careers. Maybe you should just listen." The whole table laughed. My brother smirked. My mom looked away like she was embarrassed, and I just sat there, frozen, while my cousin went right back to bragging about his new promotion. That was the night I stopped trying to prove myself to them. But they weren't done with me yet. My name is Hannah Lewis. I'm 24 years old, and for 2 years my family treated me like I was the one who couldn't figure life out. I dropped out of college after my second year because I couldn't afford tuition anymore. My loans were piling up, my part-time job wasn't cutting it, and I was drowning. So I left. My family saw that as failure, especially compared to my older brother, who's a corporate lawyer, and my cousin, who landed some fancy marketing manager job at a big firm. I started freelancing as a graphic designer. I worked from a tiny one-bedroom apartment with a desk I got off Craigslist and a laptop that overheated if I ran too many programs at once. I took on small gigs, logos for local businesses, flyers for events, whatever I could get. I wasn't climbing any corporate ladder or making 6 figures, but I was building something they couldn't see. The problem was, I couldn't see it either. Not clearly. Because every time I was around them, I doubted everything I was doing. They made me feel like I was wasting my time, like I was the family disappointment. And maybe part of me believed them. Has your family ever treated you like this? Share your story below. I read every single one, and I promise you're not alone in this. 2 months after that dinner, my mom called me. She asked if I could design the invitations for my brother's engagement party. For free. I hesitated. I was in the middle of a paid project, and honestly, I was tired of doing free work for people who didn't respect what I did. But my mom's voice got sharp. "It's the least you can do, Hannah. Your brother actually contributes to this family." I felt that in my chest. I said yes. I spent hours on those invitations. Custom illustrations, hand-lettered typography. I made them beautiful because I thought maybe, just maybe, they'd finally see that I was good at this. At the party, my brother's fiancée barely glanced at them. She said, "Oh, these are cute. Did you use Canva or something?" My brother laughed. "Yeah, Hannah's still figuring things out." I smiled. I nodded. I didn't say anything. Then my aunt, loud enough for half the room to hear, said, "You know, sweetie, you should apply to be a receptionist at your cousin's company. At least it's stable." Everyone nodded, like it was an intervention, like they were helping me. I left early. I sat in my car in the parking lot and cried so hard I couldn't breathe. And that's when I realized it. They were never going to respect me. So I stopped waiting for it. A few weeks later, my uncle was helping some family members invest in a startup his friend was launching. He called my brother. He called my cousin. He even called my dad. He didn't call me. When I asked him about it later, he shrugged and said, "I didn't think you'd have anything to put in." I had $3,000 saved. It wasn't much, but it was something. He just assumed I was broke. Then came Thanksgiving. My cousin was going on and on about his year-end bonus. My brother was talking about some case he won. My dad, trying to be nice, turned to me and asked, "What are you working on these days, Hannah?" Before I could answer, my brother cut me off. "Dad, she makes logos for like $50. Let's not pretend it's a career." The whole table went silent. My mom changed the subject. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I just went quiet for the rest of the night. A month later, my mom called again. She asked me to redesign the website and logo for the family business. Unpaid. Again. "It's for the family, Hannah. You should want to help." I wanted to say no, but I didn't. I thought maybe if I did this, if I did it well, they'd finally take me seriously. I worked on it for 2 weeks. Full rebrand. New logo. Clean, modern website layout. When I showed my dad, he barely looked at it. He said, "It's fine, I guess. But we might hire a real agency to polish it up." A real agency. That's when it hit me. It didn't matter what I did. They were never going to see me as a professional. So I stopped showing up. I stopped going to every family dinner, every holiday gathering, every last-minute request. I threw myself into my work. I took on bigger clients. I built my portfolio. I started saying no to people who didn't value my time. My family noticed, but they didn't see it as growth. They saw it as me being sensitive, dramatic, pulling away for no reason. What they didn't know was this. Over the past year, I'd been quietly landing corporate clients. I rebranded a local coffee chain. They loved my work and referred me to 3 other businesses. I started getting requests for full brand identity packages, logos, websites, social media templates, the whole thing. I was charging $2,000 to $5,000 per project. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was saving. Aggressively. I paid off my credit card debt. I bought myself a new laptop without telling anyone. When my mom asked if I needed money one day, I just said, "I'm good. Thanks." My tone was calm. No bitterness, just distance. I didn't need them to believe in me anymore. I had clients who already did. Around that time, my old college friend Jenna reached out. She worked at a mid-size marketing agency, and she'd seen my portfolio online. She called me and said, "Hannah, this is incredible. Why didn't you tell me you were this good?" I laughed. I guess I didn't think anyone cared. "Well, I care, and my boss needs to see this." She referred me for a rebrand project. I landed it. I delivered 2 days ahead of schedule. Her boss loved it. Jenna became my biggest supporter. She told me once, "You're too talented to keep being treated like that." I didn't know what to say, but it felt good to hear. Meanwhile, my family's arrogance kept growing. My brother texted me out of the blue. "Hey, can you make me a quick logo for my side project?" My cousin sent a message asking for a favor, a full website mock-up for some pitch deck he was working on. Both of them assumed I'd do it for free, or cheap. I politely declined. They were confused, then annoyed. My mom called, frustrated. "Why are you being so difficult? They're trying to include you." I didn't argue, I just said I was busy. A week later, my brother left me a voicemail. "Seriously, Hannah? You can't help your own family? What's your problem?" I didn't respond. That same month, I booked 3 major projects. My client waitlist started filling up. I was fully booked for the next 2 months. Then my mom called again. She said the family missed me. She invited me over for lunch. I thought maybe it was genuine. When I got there, my brother and cousin were already sitting at the table. It was an ambush. My brother started. "Look, we get that you're upset, but you're being unrealistic. Freelancing isn't a real career." My cousin nodded. "We're just trying to help you see that before you waste more time." My mom, gentle but condescending, added, "Honey, maybe it's time to think about going back to school, or finding something stable." I didn't yell. I pulled out my phone. I said, "I made $48,000 last year." Silence. This year, I'm on track for $70,000. I showed them my client list, local brands they recognized, a couple of national companies. My brother tried to recover. "Well, that's good, but..." I cut him off. "You told me I'd never make it. You've been telling me that for 2 years. My cousin stammered. "We were just being realistic." "No," I said. "You were being cruel." I pulled up a contract on my phone and showed it to my mom. $12,000, a rebrand for a regional retail chain. She stared at it, speechless. I said, "I didn't need you to believe in me, but I needed you to stop tearing me down." Then I stood up. If you want my help now, with anything, you can hire me, full rate, or find someone else. I walked out. No dramatic exit, no slamming doors, just quiet strength. Over the next few months, things shifted. My brother sent me a text. It was awkward, but it was an apology. My mom invited me to dinner. No strings attached this time. My cousin reached out professionally, asking if I was taking new clients. I told him I was fully booked. But the real shift was in me. I didn't need their approval anymore. I'd built a career, a life, a reputation, and it didn't depend on whether they believed in me or not. I still see them sometimes, but it's on my terms now. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. If you've ever had to prove yourself to people who refused to see you, this one's for you. Where are you watching from? Drop it below. I always check. And if this story hit home, hit that subscribe button. You're not alone. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.